Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Set the Pipe. We've got a husband-wife tandem today for the first time on Set the Pipe, but got to introduce my host. There's CK, and there's Bear in his chair, and DDT on the East Coast is joining us as well. So, the married couple, Richard, Priscilla Tallman, welcome to Set the Pipe.
Thanks, guys, for having us.
Should be a good conversation.
Oh man, I'm so excited that you guys are here. And so what we normally do is Sully's going to just talk a little bit about your accolades, and you guys can sit back. But again, just going to give a quick shout out to our podcast. Is you reached out to me, Rich, after seeing an episode, and we got to connect again like we always do. And Mooney and I were going out to Arizona for a basketball tournament, and you guys were so gracious and took us to dinner, and just it was amazing to connect. And again, without this podcast, not that we probably wouldn't have talked here or there, but it was just so great for this to bring us together, and then to have you two on it, because you guys have such a great story to tell together, apart. So thanks for joining and taking the time to meet with us today.
Thanks for having. The funny thing about that dinner, you guys, is that we probably, you intend to go to dinner for 2.5 hours. The food was amazing. The company was even better. The valet literally brought us our keys. We were the last ones in the place. Hey, do you mind if I give you your car?
Like for a 7 o'clock reservation too, or like 7. It wasn't like it was a 9 or 10. We just sat there and talked and
kept talking.
Like I said beforehand, that's why having you two on is so exciting for a lot of reasons. And you specifically, Priscilla, is, we talk a lot about volleyball here, and that's what this whole thing's about, is the journey and stories and fun, but through all that is blood, is sweat, is tears, is struggle, is winning, is losing, is failing, is being successful. And you doing what you do and what you have done with the sport is awesome, and I think it's going to be a unique perspective for us. So Sully, I'm sorry I took your thunder. I'll sit back because Rich is only going to be a little bit, but
I have like one sentence.
Yeah.
Brother.
No. Put like 6 sentences.
I do love the fact that we are literally surrounding a Matador with a Long Beach trophy in the background and a Long Beach sweatshirt on there. And you got 3 Long Beach guys as hosts, and C-Sun just needs to sit down, shut up, and let me do my thing.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Wow.
Anyway, okay. All good. This is going to be a good one. So we're going to start.
Priscilla and myself, we have the same colors. Georgia and Northridge are the same.
That's right.
A little bit. You're right.
I got to have some kind of teammate in here.
We'll start with ladies first. Priscilla Tallman, highly decorated volleyball player. She's also a coach, mental performance consultant, and she's a published author, matter of fact. But let's take her back to her volleyball playing career, University of Georgia from 91 to 94. She was the SEC Freshman of the Year, SEC Player of the Year, and a 4-time first-team All-SEC selection. Two-time ABCA first-team All-American in 93 and 94, the first in school's history. Led the nation in kills 2 years running, and that was in 93 and 94, holding the NCAA record for kills in a match at 53. She only amazed 2,675 career kills, because what is she? What's the phrase I just heard, Coley? She's a what? She was the kill doctor?
She's a spike doctor.
Spike doctor. That's what it was.
Yes, she is.
We saw that. Member of the USA national team in 94, played in the World University Games in 95, and then actually got to go overseas to Geneva, Switzerland to play some pro. And she competed in the Olympic Festival when it was still around 93. Like I said before, doing some coaching. She did some volunteer assistance at ASU. And then Arizona Christian University beach volleyball a couple years ago in 21 through 23. So that is a 30,000 foot level, if you guys can believe that. Now we get to talk about the man of the house, Richard Tallman, Long Beach State 49er. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't think I am. He is the only redshirt on the 1991 team that got a ring that has an RS on the side of his ring. So why did Rich get that? He earned it. Flat out.
Absolutely.
No one argued with it. Everybody welcomed it. We thought that was awesome. So very well played by everybody involved. Playing career, like I said, Long Beach State men's volleyball from 92 to 95. It was one of the most competitive eras. I mean, we all say this all the time, and it sure is hard to win a natty. And going from 1991 to when was the next time they won it? 16? 18?
Yeah.
Long time. So super hard. Rich was an integral part of that. Let's see. His coaching background after he played, Tallman transitioned to coaching and player development roles in multiple levels, served as coach at the Millennium High School. That's in Goodyear, Arizona for the boys and girls volleyball programs, guiding competitive indoor and beach teams. He's also collaborated with One Beach, Arizona, and it's a very well-respected junior beach volleyball program. Also, you are in the paralegal career in technology and cybersecurity right now?
Cybersecurity, yeah.
Cybersecurity.
I run a
Okay,
global
yep.
sales group, yeah.
Perfect. Oh, you run as a global sales and cybersecurity. Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to hear that. Anyway, this is Rich and Priscilla Tallman. Again, welcome to Set the Pipe. We're really happy to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys. Yeah, it's funny. So you think about, I played there for 5 years, like redshirt at Long Beach.
Yeah.
And that year was amazing. Like, it's like no one takes a redshirt to Hawaii. Hey, Tallman, you're going to Hawaii. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, you filled the void. Like, there was a ton of needs back then. It wasn't like you have this stuff today, media team and X, Y, and Z. And
you were our media guy.
I was that. I was the media team. I was the net guy.
Cole,
I did it all.
or Dave, I don't know if you guys know, but that's what Tallman did. He set up the video to
I did everything.
Capture the match. But not only that, when we won and we're like rolling on the ground and high-fiving everybody, Rich ran up to the stands, grabbed it, and he started doing the portable camcorder all the way around and got us in the locker room. And he got
what's funny
all
about that
those
is, like,
moments.
I knew, Sully and Bear, that it was such a special moment. I remember sitting there and I was like celebrating. I was like, wait a second, I have to document this. And I ran up into the stands, you know, the 30 rows up, grabbed it, went down and just started filming it all. So that awesome picture of you guys, right? It's just everybody's there. Yeah. And like, I've had people, where are you? It's like, I'm actually back here. And I was so proud of it because I'm filming. I filmed it all. And it went into all that footage in the locker room.
Well, it goes to show the culture of Long Beach back then. And it's still the same culture because Al, was there and then took it, which is amazing that he was able to do that.
He get his ring? He was, when we got put in the Hall of Fame as a team, Rich was right there with us. He was right there on stage with us as well as he should have been.
I got a question for you, Rich, real quick. I know we're kind of jumping around a little bit, but being 18, first year at Long Beach, and practicing with the team every day, as you did, what was it like with a bunch of the personalities on that 91 team? You got like Winslow, you got Hilly, you have Schroeder, Lyles. Schroeder. You even got Baron Sully in there somewhere.
Nelson.
Tell me what it was like when you were 18 with a bunch of us knuckleheads.
You go from, so I grew up in Orange County in Tustin. I played in the Seaview League. So our competitive market was, Newport Harbor, Corona del Mar, Estancia, and then it was Tustin High School, right? So we played against these unbelievable. The first match I think I ever went to, who was that guy at Newport Harbor? Hugh Foster. Like, he was a senior and I was a freshman. And I just remember seeing him hit the ball in that old gym in Newport with the metal roof. It looks like a bumper car roof,
Right.
He just thumped in a match, boom, and hits the ceiling. It's like, I want to do that. So then, I was a football player. I don't know if you guys knew that. So I was actually a football player. I was a kicker. And I was being recruited pretty heavily to go kick.
Did you say you were a kicker or a a player? I was
going to say, wait a minute, is that the same thing?
I was a kicker. I happened to be fast.
I was a quarterback, which is borderline football player.
Punter maybe.
Ask Pat McAfee that one.
Right, exactly. He's a punter. He can take somebody out. But kicker,
those are different. See what I know.
Yeah.
Well, they still.
The funny thing, like the glue between me and Priscilla, going back to my beautiful wife. It's so at Long Beach, right? We had football there, Sully and Bear, when we were there, right?
Yeah,
and then
Terrell Davis was there,
and then TD, right? So where did TD go after Long Beach State?
Georgia.
Yes,
he did.
And there's the we've never met him,
connection.
But one day we'll have a story to tell. We're gonna sit down. We got to talk to you.
His sweet mate was.
I still want you to answer Bear's question because I am curious. How did you manage? I mean, not that you had to, but like you were around some pretty legendary people.
Yeah.
First of all,
Bear,
it was shocking, like because I was not, I was not. I mean, I was very athletic, but then you get there and everybody's athletic. Right. It's not like in high school you're the guy and you just get every ball, or you're on the all-star team, whatever. Everybody is, and not only that, but they're huge, and nowadays they're even bigger.
Oh, they're
so
massive
you've got
now.
people like Lyles, and not only that, Sylvie, I'll say this, and Bear. everybody was seasoned and experienced, right?
Yeah.
It's like a lot of transfers came from OCC.
Sure.
Allen,
And
Lyles,
Golden West.
Nelson, and Golden West, right? So you guys all
And it
came
just
over.
lost the year before, and it just lost
We
the
just
year
lost
before.
Yeah,
Hungry,
exactly.
bitter, not happy,
Agreed.
ready to
Yeah.
run.
Well, and having someone like that come into the gym, I would go set up the net, and like all the young ones would go in and play. But Karen's would come in, and I would set Karen's balls. And this is a no joke. I swear to you, this happened. He just had knee surgery. I'm setting him pipes out of the back row, and he's getting frustrated because he can't jump as high as he did, right? And this is like week 3 of me being at Long Beach. And I'm just like, is he mad at me? He hits this ball so hard, you guys, it went literally through the net.
Oh,
and I had to go up to the net and like look at it. Granted, the equipment at Long Beach probably wasn't the best. Doesn't matter. It went through the net.
Went through the net. He can hit it like that, though.
Hardest
And
hitter
I was
I've
like,
ever tried to dig.
he was so mad, he just left the gym after
Heavy
lasering this ball through the net. And I was like, wow. And that's the guy you just watched the spring before on CBS. You know, just like losing it, just hammered. But Bear, it was shocking, but also kind of cool because everybody embraced each other. After the first couple weeks, I'd say once you weeded people out, and you could tell who wanted to be there, then everybody kind of got each other's backs, right? But I was definitely low man on the totem pole, but I wanted to be there, I wanted to play. And
you
then
were
once
like a little brother, though. We accepted you in, and you did everything, and you were
was
great.
your work
we
ethic,
loved you.
right? It was your work ethic. You never complained. If anybody, like you said, needed the poles to put up, Rich was the first one there. Period. I mean, there was no question
again,
about it.
We talked about it last week. It goes back to culture, and it goes back to like when you're picking a team, like we would with Paul Mitchell, or Ray and Deli do at Long Beach, or Al does at Long Beach now. It's not just the best player. It's not just the tallest player. It's not just the most ranked player. It's what fits in that program. And sometimes it's not the best, or maybe it is the best, or whatever it is. And that's why I think since when I was back in college to even to this day, Long Beach is, if not the best, one of the best cultural programs within volleyball. Everyone that has ever went there loves it. Most people, there's very few that would ever talk bad about it. Of course, you're going to have a few, but most people don't. And most people have a great time playing there, even if they don't play or if they're the superstar. And that's something that Ray built. And it's something that Al took over and adapted and changed his way, but also kept it the same. And it's a testament to, all of you guys for going to a school like that.
McNutt really started it, I think, as the assistant, and then D'Alessandro took it to a whole nother level about culture and believing in each other and have each other's back. Priscilla, did you have the same type of culture over there in Georgia? You came from Texas, right? The Texas area. Was it, it's 30 plus years ago. So you can talk it any way you want to, but women's is different. Coaching women's college is just different. So the Long Beach people, what Rich went through, all the stories. Similar, different?
I think it was very different. I think, girls is different just because you don't just have like personalities. You have a lot of emotions, I suppose.
A lot. How about that?
And hormones.
There's a lot. There's
different kinds of hormones. Yeah.
It's a real deal.
Yeah, but I think I don't really think that was a big focus. To be honest, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. What I love about the program at the time was that we were just, and literally and figuratively, we were just all dogs. Like we just wanted to scrap. Destroy the other side. Like we still weren't like beating Florida on a regular basis, but we were just aggressive, competitive female athletes. And I think that was really, it became the thing where it's like, I didn't like you sometimes, but it didn't get in the way of accomplishing what needed to get accomplished on the court. And I think that's the difference is we were able to really, and I could be just because we're Gen X girls, who knows, we were just a little tougher. We didn't need culture to support how hard we played. And I think now, not to bag on the new girls because they're incredible, like incredibly physical. They're just good. They're way taller than we were. But I think because of that, we were really, we could hold the competitiveness, we could hold the kind of aggression. And we didn't have to like each other. And I know that's different than Mooney. Like they all like each other.
No, I mean, but Mooney was like that. I mean, she was so different back then. She didn't like people back in the day. And but I want to say something that for just listening to what you said, that's important to me. I think culture's vital to be successful in an organization. However, what you just told us of how you were is what creates the culture, not culture. Come here because it's a culture. Like, oh, like the culture's been created by work ethic, by people. Like, listen, I know everyone on this thing, including you, Priscilla, but these guys can tell. I would bet my life, knowing all those guys at Long Beach that I've played with and against for years, they almost went to blows multiple times in practice. And they all went and had a beer afterwards, and they were friends. And they didn't like each other at times. And things did happen with girlfriends and things like that. You still found ways to compete. The culture was still great, but it was great because, you know, you created that. And you're going to have some bad moments, and you're going to have those kind of things, whether you like each other. And it's interesting that you say that, because I don't think a lot of teams in general, both men and women these days, could handle that as much as they could back when we played.
And nobody would want to talk about it. I promise you, there's not one head coach who's going to say they don't want to talk about culture. And you know, I don't think we had to talk about it as much back then.
Yeah. So before we go on, I wanted to, oh, sorry, Sully. I just wanted to say, I wanted you to give us just a quick overview of how it feels to hear all of those accolades about what you've done. I know we had that dinner and you got to tell some stuff. You're also, I believe it's the Ring of Honor, which is, you're the only female athlete in the history of Georgia to be there. Something like that is beyond incredible. And if people want to do the math or go into Google and see the football players, the basketball players, you know, Herschel Walker, and go down the list of folks that have played sports there, to be in that kind of honor and to do what you did. How does it feel at this age when you're a mom and you're a wife and you're doing stuff to help people with their mental fortitude in sports and other avenues? How does it feel to see how good you were?
Yeah.
How great you were is probably a better word to say it.
Well, I have to clarify, it's the Circle of Honor, and I'm the only female volleyball player in there. But there's lots of like so many swimmers, so many gymnasts.
Oh, track and field, swimmers, gymnasts.
There's some soccer, tennis, all these people. But the older I get, the more it's almost like it's almost disbelief, because the body doesn't move like that, and I just try to figure out how in the world could I train, lift, get in trouble, and do all the things I did, and still really compete and perform at a really high level with no mental performance training, no mindset, nothing other than like, I am gonna get this done. And I had a lot of really big goals. So I think what I would say to that question, Coley, is that person still lives in me with every single thing that I do. Like, I can access her. Like, she was awesome. Like, she did some cool things. Like, you know, and so I try to carry that with me. I did an ad way before NIL. I did an ad for Mikasa, and it's like got me standing in like a bunch of volleyballs. It has my individual kill record of 53. It has my 2675 record. It has my 785 in the season record on it. It's got all this stuff on it. And it's in my garage. And I still regularly do garage workouts because I like to work out by myself. It's kind of weird, but I like it. I like to access that, and it's in the garage, and I always keep it up there. Like, you know, I don't live in that place anymore, but I know that I am inspired by the work that I did, the people who coached me, the people who recruited me, the people who were on my team, all made that possible too. That's easier to see now. Back then, back when I was playing, I did everything. Now I look at it like, I didn't do any of this by myself. This was so supported by so many people.
Yeah, and I would say this too, Coley, just to add to it, because I've been married forever. But we both coached at Long Beach, right? So Priscilla coached with Jim Alero, and I coached with Alan. So Alan came back under Ray. Yeah. And Alan and I was a coach one year, right? I have a good funny story about Matt Furbringer I have to share later. It's but we were both coaching there. And I will say this, just so you guys know, Priscilla graduated high school at 16. They had to sign her into college at 17. So she was starting against these people at 17 years old, done by college before 20, breaking records, doing all this stuff. before she was even 20 years old, right? And today, I think the kids are like 29 or 30 on their 18th year.
My kid is one of them. And it is what it is.
Well,
you know what's right?
I have two really quick Jim Malaro things too. Is when I went, I was a volunteer assistant, and my job to do there was hit high balls off Debbie Green, like a dream.
Wow,
what a bummer. Yeah, you're right. Bummer. Shoot. It was so amazing. And so that was kind of what I did. And I remember one of the girls, I don't remember who it was, she came up to me after practice. She goes, "Oh, it's you. You're the one. You're from Georgia, right?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "We had a whole meeting about you. We had a whole meeting about how can you let some kid out of Georgia beat you in the number of kills? How can you let some kid, like Jim Malaro totally bagging on me to his team." And I'm like, yes, I made it to Jim Malaro's, his troll page. So. And I love him. I respect him so much. I was actually like, that was cool. That was a cool prop to me.
Remember back in the day, there was no internet. Yeah. So we didn't know anything about SEC. We didn't know anything about the Big Ten. We didn't know anything.
You waited every month for Volleyball Magazine.
Yeah.
And you wanted to see. And you wanted to see what cover did Schroeder make this week, you know?
Right.
And it was hard to find scores anywhere, you know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we were so spoiled at Long Beach. I mean, we had Tara Cross, we had Danielle Scott, we had Antoinette White. I mean, the national champion, just pumping these NCAA players out of the year. So we were super spoiled. So we had our nose up even when UCLA beat us. It's fine, whatever. Back in the day, but I got to tell you something, Priscilla. When you talked about how your body's not really like responding now, I don't know what that means. Like, you guys,
you can still touch 10-2 or 10-3 or whatever it was.
Yeah, baby, that's 11-4.
11-4, sorry.
No, she's giving you a hard time. Now it's
what was your highest?
We are broken.
Now I'm curious.
Sure. Yeah, did you touch 11-4? Seriously?
What was your touch?
Yeah, 11-4.
Mine was 10-2.
You know what mine was?
What?
11-6.5.
You touched 11-6.5.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah, and we did it. I was with Schroeder, and we had to go.
Did that happen?
I always had it. I just hit the ball about here, not here.
So. Man, I didn't jump well at all. I mean, I was a very mediocre jump. Yeah. I touched at the best I ever touched was 11-1 once. So I was probably around the 10-10, 10-11, which isn't for 6'5". That's not great. I mean, I'd still side out every time I buy you. So
I was able to palm the antenna.
But I couldn't jump.
We did a test with Eric Burkhart. Me and Schroeder. We had to go into the old little locker room, the weight room.
Schroeder jumped 10 feet. Bear.
I don't even think he did it. He's like, just put me down for whatever. But we had to do bench and some other stuff and test. And I did the jump and I tested, and Burkhart had to calculate. And he's do it again. He had to recalculate. And I'm like, is it good? I don't know. Like, no clue. And but yeah, that was freshman year, redshirt year. So where'd Bear go?
I don't know. Bear left. First time, it's okay. We had him pop in on one other
strength coach.
Burkhart was our strength coach.
Remember him.
Yeah, he was awesome. Olympic.
Burkhart breaks boards for fun.
Yeah, he got us into Olympic style lifting, which was a blessing and a curse in my opinion, because it's mid-season and you're trying to throw up cleans and it like, oh, my knees.
He was like a power lifter, right? Like his own spare time, if I remember right. Him and the
little guy. Yep.
Awesome. He just
went to go see Alan.
So I don't know if we want to wait for Bear or who wants to tell it, or you can intertwine, but I think it'd be great for the listeners to hear how you two volleyball players met.
Wait, so do you know about apartment 260?
I don't know.
These guys do for sure.
I don't want to comment on that.
So Hoff and I were living.
We did not meet in 260. I don't think.
No, we met. Let me tell the story. So we met we had an apartment down in Steel Beach, about 4 blocks from the ocean. So literally our daily schedule would be wake up. Hoff and I would go surf on the south side of the pier. We'd come back, get a burrito from Nick's, get dressed, bike over to school, get ready for practice at Saturday practice, then we'd go to night school, right? Yeah. So we had just beaten like Hawaii or something, and we invited them to our house. And you want to see, it was wild, I'll just say. And Priscilla had come to the party. For some reason, she was there. Like, it was like her spring break, her senior year. Yeah. And some reason, she came out to Long Beach to like hang out because she played with Neil Mendel, Travis Barr, and some others at Olympic Fest. And she's like, I'll come out. And she was sitting, and I remember this beautiful girl sitting on the couch by herself. And I probably had a shaved head and no shirt on at the time. Like, hey, who are you?
Who are you?
You know? Didn't remember. And then later she moved out after she played pro, and we met like night 2 or 3. You lived with Jerry Estes.
No, I didn't.
Or lived above
I lived
Jerry
above.
Estes.
It was like Neil. whoever was in there, Neil, Oren, those guys. I lived above them with this girl. Yeah.
And we met, and I had been done.
So you came out here, Priscilla, to pursue a volleyball career, right? So you're in Grew up in Texas, playing at Georgia, crushed it. I'm going to go out to Southern California and become a pro beach or pro beach volleyball player and go from there.
Since I played in Europe that first season, I hurt my knee, so I had knee surgery, and then I came back, and I was in Austin, which is where I grew up. And at the time, the agent I had said, you're going to get nowhere. You need to move somewhere that has volleyball people. And which is funny because now Austin is like Austin.
Yeah.
So I moved to California I'll play on the beach. I'll train. I'll be a volunteer assistant at Long Beach, and I'll get some swings in and whatever. So that's kind of how I ended up out there, was get to California. That's where you need to be.
Yeah. Did you just walk into Jim Malero's office and say, hey, you need some help?
We knew Jerry Estes. So that he said, oh, we need another assistant. And I was like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, he was around the women's.
I would get up at like 4:00 in the morning to go work at a bagel shop on 2nd Street. And I worked from like 5 to like maybe 1. Then I would go change out of my onion, everything scented clothing, everything bagel, clothing smell. And then I would go and I would, hit balls at Long Beach. So bagel shop, coach, and then back doing it every day.
With the hopes you wanted to go to the Olympics.
I did.
Like that was the dream. I want to go to the Olympics. I want to go to the Olympics. And that was kind of like the one thing.
I don't want to digress from that, but that's a great story. That's a story within a story, and another thing you can talk about within the struggle of what I don't think regular people truly grasp what athletes go through. And I'm even talking just the elite high school athletes today on up. Right? Like even elite club athletes that are training, but you're working at a bagel shop at 4 a.m. You're getting up, you're working so you can afford it. You're going to coach volleyball for 2 reasons. One is you love the game and it's great for you. And 2 is you get to stay in great shape and get a workout in because you're trying to still play volleyball. And then on top of that, you got to go train, hit the weights. It's not an easy life, and not everyone gets drafted first and gets $25 million and a Nike shoe contract. It's not like that. And it's crazy. But so go on. So Rich, we cut you off. So she moves out here for volleyball.
We met like night 1 or 2. She came in because somebody had a party upstairs or downstairs. Don't know. And I said, hey, and I don't recall meeting her like 2 years prior, right? At my own
with your
house.
Shirt off. Yeah.
and later. and
whoa.
Just said, hey, do you want to go to the beach with me tomorrow? And I think I had like 10 balls, and we would go down and train because as soon as indoor was done, literally like the next day we were down at Huntington, South Korea, just gone. Like, let's go. And we were there every day, I mean, I can't tell you how many times Hoffy and I would sit there and we would carve the court into thirds and play full on swing as hard as you can, game to 15. And just working on jump serving and passing and setting there. So fun time. But we went and we played together and we were absolutely miserable together.
Yeah,
so
we realized what we realized then is Rich does not have ball control for Pepper. And so we decided not to play together anymore.
It was the heavy arm.
You hadn't even got to play. Right. You were in pepper mode, and you suck so bad.
This sounds really familiar.
No, we still have this argument, like literally. No, it's your ball control. No, it's yours. Like you can't hit to it. Like seriously, we're.
Priscilla, how about you and I pepper, and Rich and Mooney can pepper, and then we can see who it is.
Yeah, we know who it is.
Because it's not me.
It's so not me.
It's not me.
Yeah, then we played. I had literally been there for 2 weeks, and then we just kind of hung out. Volleyball is such a small little community that we just started hanging out, playing at the beach. We were always around each other, and then within I don't know, probably like a month, we were like, oh, let's go. I don't know, eat something, Togos or whoever knows what that was out. At the time.
Togos.
Wow.
So and then we just stayed together. Yeah, that was that.
Yeah, it's funny. You mentioned it's like going into Jim Miller's office. Like I would regularly walk down and just walk in his office and sit and talk. Rich, you got to get out of men's volleyball. There's no money in it. Okay. We had and that's why we started Surf City Women's. Remember, Bear? We had Surf City Men's.
Yep.
And then we started Surf City Women's, and Priscilla and I kind of ran that for Delhi and Knipe. And then quickly we're like, I'm done with coaching, and kind of took a long winter's nap.
I think on that point too, when Coley, you were saying this, is that what a lot of people don't understand, and I actually coach a lot of girls who are in their first pro season, or maybe they're just finished their collegiate beach career and now they're trying to figure out that navigate the new world of being pro beach and what tournaments to be a part of. And there's my package just got here, but all of that to say, just it's hard. I think my career ended because I couldn't afford to just play volleyball. Like, you have to have money, and you're either going to work at the bagel shop for a long time, but eventually that gets old. And it's really hard for those pro girls starting out too. They don't have sponsors, they don't have the money, they don't have all that stuff. So you're right on there. It's kind of grind those first several years.
Yeah, and it's the love for it, right? And the whole thing about, again, my kids are in a little bit of a different sport than that, where like if they were to make it, you could get paid quite a bit of money in basketball overseas and obviously in this country. But it's hard. It's hard to do it. I mean, I've seen so many guys that were bona fide NBA picks that are back after a year from Europe and starting their lives, right? Like it's a lot to be a pro. It's a lot to be a college athlete, but I mean, to be a pro and a real pro at that, like, first of all, you need a break. You need to have it go your way. If you're great enough to get drafted early, we've even seen the number one picks out of the league or whatever sport it is a couple years later. It's not all, sunshine and rainbows. It is pretty amazing. And we all wanted to do it, right? We all did.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't change it. And I'd go back tomorrow and do the exact same thing, but it's hard. And I think it's great to bring notice to that. My kid wants to do a documentary on that for like kids that go to Europe, like he was going to do, and he didn't, just what it's like to be a pro athlete over there. And you did it, Priscilla, I did it, Bear did it. I'd love to hear about your experience, but did you get paid? Did you not? Oh, I'm going to give it to you. All of those things that go on being in Europe, again, isn't all, sunshine and rainbows for everyone. When you're like, oh, I played pro, there's challenges. So,
yeah,
So tell us about that.
How do you
were in Geneva?
Yeah, how was Geneva? Yeah,
I loved it. I mean, Switzerland is sort of like the beginning league. It's people want to work up to like, maybe France or Italy or Germany or Poland or some other countries. Obviously, Japan is incredible. So I was at World University Games and I didn't get to start. I was supposed to start, and one of the days I got like dehydrated, and I think I just got pegged as being weak, and so she just didn't put me in anymore. And whatever, it was Mary Weiss. She was from Florida. Maybe she had a thing against bulldogs. Who knows? Just kidding. I absolutely love Mary Weiss. But it did affect my ability to play at a higher level. So I started at Geneva again. Nothing wrong with that. I loved the city. I was absolutely not equipped to be out there. We didn't have at the time. They didn't have any training for us, like lifting. They didn't have a gym for us. They didn't have, and this is very common. They didn't. We didn't actually have a coach. It was our captain who was on the floor. She's one of our players. So
again, not sunshines and rainbows.
But you're thinking, because you go, and again, I'm generalizing because this is many years ago in like 96 or 95. And, you just assume like, well, I'm American, I just go play volleyball the same way I had it in college. Well, the collegiate system in the United States is phenomenal. It's just good. Yeah. And you have and getting better, and you have so much support. Yeah. They want you to succeed so bad. And your first year out there is like, you've got a German coach, 4, international players that do not speak the same language as you. You're living at Switzerland, and then you've got like, you're American. So you've got all this stuff going on. And that's a challenge. So just being away from home and all that. But I loved Geneva. I tell Rich all the time, like, let's just go live in Switzerland. Like, come on. So beautiful.
Do it.
It's such a beautiful country.
So beautiful.
And everything is unbelievable.
Yeah, in fact, I'd like to get out to the beach tournament they have out there at some point, because that's like one of my bucket list things, because I just want to see it.
Yeah, Priscilla coaches. She does like mindset training for both indoor athletes, some living over there, and then also pro like beach players here, right? So they're trying to correct you.
I do want to ask you a quick question about that, and then also what I'd like to say is, I think that we talked about that night at dinner, and Sully and Bear and I have talked about this several times. It is a huge, huge topic today in sports, from youth on up, about mental health. We would really like to do a couple segments with you, with another, and really dig down deep on talking all about it, and the nomenclatures, the bad, the good, just everything, and really talk about how you can maybe help some of our listeners on doing that. I would love to go down deep in regards to that. So I'm going to ask you a question about that, so it won't go too far, but you're in Europe, you just said, and I remember when I played in Finland, it was, super dark. I'm alone. They at least spoke relatively good English, but and yeah, you're getting paid, but it's not easy. So for you talk about the mental part. You teach it today to pros, you teach it to younger kids as well. In a elevator pitch, 5 minutes we'll give you, how does someone overcome that struggle living in a foreign country, or being in a different state if you choose a college that you thought you wanted to go to, and all of a sudden you're from California, you're in Maine, and it's January and it's -5 degrees with snow on the ground, and everything on the pictures didn't look the same as it is when you're living there. What would you say to an athlete with that mentality, or trying to get through what you got through?
Yeah, and this is when I work with rookies, this is the biggest challenge that they have, like bar none. Like, it is literally just how do I get myself functioning, because they can't play volleyball at the level they want. So a lot of them, it is first of all understanding the culture that you're in. That is a huge help. What are these people about? What is this country about? You're not going to try to become that, but you do have to assimilate a little bit. You have to sort of figure out how this new culture is going to work for you. If you have a lot of Americans on your team, I think it's a little bit easier, because they actually do now. When I played, you could only have 2. So they actually have lots of friends. And then I encourage them. One thing I actually really encourage them to do is, like, let's just say you have a 5-year pro career and you want to be an English teacher when you get out of here. Find somewhere to go teach in your country, read books to students. If you make it all about volleyball, you are going to be miserable. And that's typically what I encounter when I work with these rookies. It's like, they don't have a lot of time. They're packed. They've got a morning workout, they've got a lift, they've got sometimes afternoon sessions, they've got film, all this stuff. So trying to find somewhere where they can still do something that's not just volleyball, I think is where, same with college. I know their schedule was jam-packed, but you got to find that window to do something that you're not all in that soup of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've overheard her conversations she's had solely in Hooks, like, where it's like, okay, and she's digging down into kind of their foundational ethos, right? And then horses come up. Great. Let's figure out how you can get involved with horses somehow, and you kind of finding that beyond volleyball, to rebuild up yourself. So it's just fun to see how she can truly help. It's neat, right? Because it's like you said, you might be living in Finland or Switzerland or Japan. I went and visited Hoff twice in Japan. It's lonely, man. Like, he's 6'8", 6'9" by himself, and his wife and kids didn't want to be there, so he's over. Rich, come visit me. I just need you to come over. Yeah. So it's a matter of, like, how can you assimilate, but how can you kind of keep it normal? And one thing Priscilla said is, like, find others, right, and make a point to go see them. So it's same with college too. I will say that
these girls do a way better job of that. I mean, when you look at their Instagram feeds, like, they're traveling with people from other teams. They do a lot of stuff together. But we also do a ton of values work as well. So helping them understand their values, like, what do I care about? The closer you can get to knowing what you care about and why you're actually over there, it'll keep you in it longer. And you can say, oh, I'm here because I love this sport, or I'm here because I'm my family is a volleyball family. Have 2, not anymore, because they are in a really good place. One just had her first BNL. She played for the Dutch national team. And then one played for the Swedish national team. And both of those girls, man, we hammered values. They are so family oriented. They come from big volleyball families from their countries. And that was one of those things that we really honed in on. What do I care about? What's going to keep me here? Because when it gets hard, that's what you got to do to keep yourself there.
Yeah.
Priscilla, quick question.
Oh,
sorry, Bear.
Sorry.
What was the uplift in talent going from college and an incredibly successful college career to the pros. And then, Rich, for you, these guys have talked a lot about the Paul Mitchell experience over several pods. Did you go on to do like men's open nationals as well?
Yeah.
A couple questions.
Super fun. Go ahead, Priscilla, you go.
So the uplift, it depends on where you play. Some collegiate programs, like you're going to go play and it's not going to be as good. And that's tough for some of these girls because they're used to such a high level of coaching. That's one of the big thing is they're so used to such high level coaching that it's a kind of a crapshoot when you get out there. Like you really don't know what you're going to get. And some programs are amazing and some are like not. So I would say it really,
janitors coaching.
It's crazy. It really depends. So for me, it was super competitive. I by the way, my setter had just had a baby. She might have been like 3 months out after having a baby. Her name was, I'm going to get it wrong, Yang Xilan. She was a Chinese national team setter who set at the same time Debbie Green did. So she was like Debbie Green's age, playing my rookie year in Switzerland. And she's like, if it doesn't get to me, I'm not setting it. Like she would not take one step.
Ball control.
So I think it's kind of that. It depends on where you went. I thought my level was a very high competitive level, and I feel like I did not quite get the experience I could have had as a player because I just didn't know what I was doing. But yeah.
Thanks,
Rich.
Yeah, the Paul Mitchell was fun, right? Just to be asked to play by night was just awesome, right? And got to play with Bears, so playing Bears hitting opposite, swinging away as hard as you can. They stick me in the middle because I can jump, and they didn't want to play in any middle. Rich, you go play middle. But the experiences I have from that are outside of the gym, right? We didn't win the year I played, but I do remember going out to dinner and people were bringing up the bill, pretty big bill, and I'm 22, 20. And credit card roulette comes up, and boom, Rich lost. Okay, Rich pays. We go out again, and credit card roulette comes up. Rich loses again. I'm like, wait a second, I got like $1,000.
He carried that debt into our marriage. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we did.
Still paying that off.
So we started it, Rich, years ago, and it really started just in the beer garden for a round of beers. And it would end up costing like $40 in the beer garden, for 12 guys.
Yeah.
And you for sure were going to win the next one with 12 guys. So, you'd end up getting a couple beers for $40. Big deal. Then it turned into this, and then it turned into dinners. And I've been in thousands of dollars of roulette games. It's
all
crazy.
worth it. Every penny.
100%.
We went to, I think one of the days we were in Dallas that year. We went to the grassy knoll and checked it out and kind of reenacted some scenes to try and figure out if it was plausible or not. So it's, it was a good time. Fun, just a fun time. And especially since college was done and I wasn't going overseas to play, it was just fun to continue it. I mean, some of those matches in Open Nationals, I mean, I can't believe they're not televised as much as they are or should be. They're absolutely competitive. I would say, and this just popped into my head, Barry, remember Bay Club, Belleville Bay Club?
Yep.
Some of those matches in the summer and
that was a great summer league with Charlie Brand and everything in that little
That was like you had like a 1 foot service line. That was the best.
Yeah.
I think we let the foot fault in that actually.
But you think about like the talent that was in the smallest
there were some really good
world.
players in there. Yeah.
Like first team All-Americans, first team All-Americans, play of the years, and you're playing
different
for
generations
fun
were
in the
playing.
summer. You got people from the 70s, 80s, 90s. It's just a blast.
That was a lot of fun.
Again, we all
about
played.
how Hoff was on the bench, and we had to get him off the bench for Cooch. We're like, wait a minute. The team captain, Olympic gold medalist, was on the bench. He wasn't playing.
He wasn't playing.
A lot of talent,
but just a good
there.
time. Yeah,
Those
a fun time, fun era.
Great memories.
Just good memories. Yeah, really fun.
I mean,
memories.
and that's what makes this. That's why I started doing this. And I told you guys that this summer is when Sully and Bear asked me to do this. Is there's a lot of stories I'm sure you could tell that you could tell, and I'm sure there's a lot of stories that you couldn't tell. But that's what makes the game so great. And you guys met because of volleyball.
Yeah.
Just like Mooney and I, just indirectly because of the sport you played. You just told a funny story where you went to different places and cities. The matches were great. You didn't even win it that year, but it was still so amazing, which makes it awesome.
Think about that. Yeah, and think about Coley. Like when I started, it was still side out volleyball.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm starting 92. You had to serve in that little 10-foot spot on the right side.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't serve the entire baseline, and then the rules changed, and then it's now they open up the baseline. You can serve anywhere you want, and then rally scoring, and that's a funny. So I have a funny story. But I mentioned this earlier. Furbringer, we were playing Stanford in that Clum gym, that little one that had like the copper shades, and they would start the match right at sunset. So you're
Clum
facing
gym.
literally these things, and it's like you're blind. And I was coaching with Alan then, right? And I would just an analytic guy. I'm watching this, and they just opened up that service baseline, and I noticed that Furbs could pass the ball no problem straight at him. But when you moved to the left and shot him from the angle, from the other side, it was just everywhere. Mentally, he couldn't do it. So I walked over to Alan and said, hey, I'll check this out. And no kidding, we went into that match. Everybody's on the left side blasting balls at Furbringer. They had to take him out of the set. We smoked him, I think, 3 straight. He didn't know what was going on.
He's going to love the story.
Rich loves the Stanford story.
I'm gonna have to make
He
it short
loves
on that one.
He was ready. But we took him that match, no problem. And it was quick. I'm not joking. We made quick work of him because you had Lambert on one side, phenomenal, and Furbringer is like the outside hitters of all, the universe. And one of them's all of a sudden gone, and he's just mentally. It was cool. It was really fun to watch. But I would say that was my highlight of my coaching career is seeing the deception of pinging from this side, So
That's
sorry, Furbs. Love you, dude.
I'm going to text him right after.
But now you know.
The statistics Alan shows is there's just so much information out there that they can use on the bench and how they design things and before the match, and it's not like pencil and paper anymore.
No,
it is a
and
lot more
that's
detailed.
what gets lost. So Lee, a lot of it, and I love that we watch volleyball. We watch volleyball a lot. Like we literally try to watch all the top 25s. Priscilla helps with some other teams, D2, D3s, so we try and watch theirs on live streams. But they miss so much because they just don't know the game.
Yeah,
but
agreed.
Even the camera angles, like somebody had a camera angle pointing straight down from the top.
It looked like
and I was
it looked like in the Matrix when like Neo's in that one small like that arrow and like all those guys. That's the camera view was like it was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say though, Coley, I heard you say that a little bit that you didn't love all the number stuff. Like I can respect it. I respect the numbers. I respect the cauldron, right? I respect a lot of that, but I do sort of agree that sometimes the analytical nature, the probability, that kind of stuff sort of rips the heart out of it. When I look at it from,
you got to have a feel for the game. You got to have a feel for the game. So anytime I even coached it, when I volunteered at UNI or I was coaching at Bradley, wherever at Long Beach State, I had to tell the head coach, I'm like, you're not going to want me to take the stats because I'm watching the game. Watching the game, and so if you want stats, I'm gonna have to do it after the match, and so that was kind of the agreement. But I was like, I knew what was going on in the game. I didn't need to. And the stats helped, but you got to know the game, and because there's humans out there.
Well,
that's the deal, right?
Yeah,
like you said, Rich. Like who would have known? Gosh, if we just scooted him up to the left, like it wasn't just area 5. It was no. You got to pass it to his right side. You can't do it.
Come from a different
and if
direction.
you're not watching the game, you're not going to see that, right?
Yeah.
And again, I'm with you, Priscilla. I think it's important and I think it's valuable. I mean, I'm not an idiot to think of how things have just changed for a lot of different things. Yeah, I know. I know. I see an idiot. Yes, I can be. I like to talk a lot, but no, I understand the analytics and it's important. Like they analyze every single play in a college practice, and so you know every last little thing. Not saying it's not right or wrong. It's just so much information to like. If you were statting me back in college and these guys play with me, I probably hit my stats were probably great, but I don't care what they were. I was going to win, and that's all that mattered to me. And I was going to win. I was going to make sure I won. I was going to, if I had to put the ball away, if I had to cover someone else, it didn't matter. I was going to win because that's all that mattered. Those analytics can't really analyze that.
But Coley, what you just said there is like, I was going to win. What's the one thing, Soli, you've coached, Barry, you're coaching, like we're all coaching, Dave, it's like, you can't
talk about winning anymore. You can really only talk about process anymore. Nobody really wants to say the W word because it's like a dirty word now. It's like, no, dude, like I want to win. It's interesting. And I'll tell you from a mental perspective, because I do work with a lot of kids who are in very high statistical. The coaches are very highly statistical, and they run cauldrons and all that kind of stuff. Some athletes do not like the coaches are. It's not a mental skill. The coaches aren't coaching the thing. And one of the big things I was recently have been talking about is it isn't a mindset problem or a mental performance problem if you haven't coached and taught how to have vision. That isn't a mental block that your kid cannot hit where the defender's not. That is a thing that you haven't trained vision enough in practice. And so a lot of times I get called by coaches or whatever, or athletes, I have a mental block. I'm like, no, you don't. Tell your coach to train vision. Stop acting like it's your fault. Like if you're really good on hitting a ball at the pin, this is for beach. If you're good at hitting a ball in the pin, hit a ball in the pin, and then practice vision. Where's your blocker? Where's your defender? Eventually, like for me, you can feel people. Like when you have swung at so many balls, you can feel where the block is. I can see. I don't even have to watch the set. Like I can see the defenders from my vantage point, and I think that's where I'm like, let's train some more of that intangible stuff, because vision doesn't come up. Court vision, court IQ doesn't come up on a statistic, and I really think there's a lot that's being lost in that because we're so focused on this. Now, add to that, you get a neurodivergent athlete with ADHD, has a lot of hyper focus on numbers, and that will derail an ADHD kid like that. Having to focus on, oh no, we want to be process oriented. We want to be process oriented, but oh, by the way, your stats are low. Those things don't work. So I'm always thinking the mental side of stats, not necessarily, yeah, they work. We got to know them. I'm happy I had stats. I like my stats, but.
Yeah. It's funny. So Priscilla was coaching beach volleyball at ASU. So she started a program here at Millennium High School. Millennium has, I think, 60, or not Millennium, but Arizona, the state of, in high school, have like close to 70 teams for women's in high school. It's an accredited sport for high school beach volleyball. And men's started this year, but Priscilla started a team here at Millennium as well. But as she went to ASU, she wanted to learn more. And Brad Keenan was the coach at the time. Tell them the story about Marv.
Oh my gosh.
It's so funny. Like it's
We had Marv on here, which is great.
Yeah, that's why it's just so funny.
I was frustrated because I couldn't figure out how to work with Brad. and I had made it through one season. I was going to the second season, and I'm like, I'll call his coach. So Rich goes, call him, see what he says. Like, all right. And I'm like, all right, I'll call him, see what he says about Brad. And I told Brad this story too, but so I call him up at like 7:59, like no kidding. I'm like, I'll just leave a really quick message. He's like, morning
or night?
Yeah. And he's like, volleyball. I was like, picks up 7:59 in the morning. No biggie. I'm sitting here waiting for this phone to ring. So anyway, he was amazing. We talked for a long time, talked about communication, talked about and we didn't really even talk about Brad, which is awesome. And I got like a free TED talk from Marv Dunphy on culture, communication, volleyball. And then at the end, he's like, yeah, we got to call me again. We got to stay connected. Let's, and I'm like, why did I call Marv Dunphy again? Like, wow. But Dunphy. Just the most, I mean, I always said this, like anybody worth their salt is going to give you 5 minutes. Like this dude, I didn't know me from anyone, and he was willing to help me. His TED Talk did not help me at ASU with Brad, but I ended up leaving. But we played well, and I had a lot of fun with Brad. Brad was a very funny person.
So
very
funny.
Yeah. It's interesting. I know the athlete I was. I see the differences, like you're talking about with the mental thing and the understanding, and it's a crazy thing to me with the athletes today, the athletes then, now, before, and what's important and what's not. And winning should be the most important thing. And that's why you play sports. It doesn't mean you're going to win. One team wins, all that stuff. And it's crazy that isn't talked about as much. You said, and everyone's more processed or making sure everyone's good and all of those things. And I don't know. I wonder how you teach that or talk about that when folks aren't as driven, or driven's not the right word, but maybe aren't as focused on what we were focused on growing up?
I always remind people that it's really cool to be part of the process, but I say the exact same thing as you say, Coley. It's like sports are designed to have a winner and a loser. There's a score. And yes, there's a process, and yes, we can learn things. I'm actually going to be giving a talk at the Love Coaches Summit that they have in December up in Kansas City. And I have a whole framework that I developed based on competition and cooperation, and how both of those things can lead us to the winning. But sometimes we can't be diving directly into that uber competitive part of ourselves. We have to sort of find the cooperative place. And it's about coming in and out of when do you compete and you just go for it, and when do you have to sort of cooperate with either yourself or your teammates or the score or some other external kind of factor. That's kind of how I talk through it, because I think there's nuances to it.
So who's invited to the LBB, those type of seminars?
So it's right before the AVCA one. And I believe it's all of their Love coaches and directors. And then the speakers.
So that's your audience. Are those your audience? Is that going to be your audience? Players, directors?
Not players, coaches of the Love clubs and the directors of the Love clubs. And then I'll get to hang out and listen to, like, I think Dan Meskey's there, Courtney Thompson. I'm trying to think of Eric. What's his last name? UCLA? Eric Barber. So there's a lot of other people talking, and I get to hang out with and learn from, which I cannot wait. I have not been around like volleyball minds in a very long time since I quit coaching. So I'm super, super excited.
Yeah, she quit coaching, and now she's teaching kids this part, like to believe in themselves really, and to keep. And the one thing she helps with a lot of kids, they blow their ACL or their total knee, and it's like, what do I do? Because that's the part. It's like, okay, we got to work on this stuff, because it's going to take time. So it's interesting. So that's like Coley or Sully, you mentioned she's an author. She wrote 2 journals based on that, right? So one of them's called 30-Day Return to Play, built for athletes that were hurt, because the quickest thing we can do as a coach is get that player back out there. A lot of times, and you guys, we've all been hurt, right? We've all had the finger that's sideways and everything. And it's like,
I was there.
It's the mindset. I know. So
we had a foot that was on backwards, but yeah.
Yeah, that was there for that one too. Right.
Yeah. We watched that game there, Coley. But yeah, it's like, okay, so we know there's a process of healing physically, but there's also that adaptation of the mental component too. And so Priscilla wrote an entire 30-day journal just for that. And then also the 30-Day Champions Journal, right? The athletes that are getting preparing for war, battle, whatever, a game. So she kind of got that, but and those are a little older, and she is writing some new curriculum for folks. But it'll be to share what she's written and come up with out at the Love conference, because it's really like, I look at this, you guys, and I run a global sales team. I'm like, I can use this. I can literally use these quadrants right now, today. And to help, and so it's kind of neat. So
a great mind.
Here's the biggest. Here's the biggest thing I think is coming. It's coming like an avalanche. If you guys don't even know it already, is going to be the fallout, right? With fallout of the NIL, there's not going to be any pro leagues. So remember, we're talking about going and selling bagels, making bagels, right?
Who wants to do it?
Going to work out. These guys are leaving colleges making $60K, $150K,
they've already made,
$250K, right? And then when they're done,
millions,
they're going to make bagels. So forget the whole playing thing, right? Because we all went through that of, oh gosh, this has been my life for how long, and now I got to figure out life now. Like, I couldn't do an internship in college, right? These guys now put the money factor on there and the sponsorships and and you guys remember when we were younger? It's like, I'm gonna do this forever. I'm gonna make this money forever, right? So Priscilla, if you want to get ahead of this, because it's already here, but it's going to come like an avalanche, because this thing is.
I'm terrified.
The kids are going to need something, and I don't know if every university needs to be prepared, because it's. I mean, I said it when I was in college. Like, you get dumped into a cubicle the next day, and you're a Michigan football player.
This is when we first moved to Arizona. I actually had I called it CAPE, was the Collegiate Athlete Programmed Exit, which is a really stupid name, but I made a full-on curriculum for athletes who are coming out of college. Because I know that most of us are going to either end up at the bagel shop, Home Depot, or if you're a female, you're going to have to find yourself a nice pencil skirt, a blouse, and a pair of sensible flats, because that is the reality. Although many of the newer kind of athletes coming out, it does work for them. But we just went to a high school game, and almost every single girl that I coached from high school that went to college that is now back is job hunting, and they haven't the slightest clue the resources. They think, just like Rich and I thought, it's your work ethic that's going to get you a job, and it's not. There is understanding power dynamics. There's understanding how the social the world works. That you can say it's a corporate team. They don't work like teams. We know what teams are. They don't know what a team is. Yeah,
well, it's a different it's a different competition.
It's totally
now,
different.
right? And everybody else has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years on you already, and the ones that you went to school with.
And it doesn't matter how hard you work.
Right?
It matters who you know. It matters.
Nope. And that's the point. We could put 20% effort in because we will work harder.
Yep.
Right.
But it doesn't matter because they have that other 80% of they've been doing it solely, or they know people, or
You said it, Priscilla, and I think the biggest thing, and Sully and I have talked about this, Bear too, and DDT, but it's a business within college sports now, so it needs to be addressed. But it needs to be addressed the way you said it, being done.
Oh yeah,
because we've all know I know several still to this day. I'm almost 55 years old that can't let go, and that still are struggling with their lives because they can't let go of that. And it needs to be taught beforehand that your self-worth, that you're more than the sport, with being also taught you better go fucking win.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's what you're here for.
Okay. It's a reality check.
Level. We're talking the elite athletes. And so like Braden, my son, is it's doing the 30-day journal right before season starts. Michelle got it for him. And
cool.
I'm excited for him and excited for that. Just different ways to tap into things. And he's different, but a lot of folks are different, but they're different watching film. They want to be great. They don't realize, like you said, that you're 16, you're 18, then you're 22, and the glory of college is done. The free meals and the free Nike gear and the freaking planes for some of these athletes of flying. Not private jets, but semi-private with the
charters, chartered planes.
My kid did it at UCLA. It's amazing. Like it's just the team and the staff. All of that stuff ends, and like you said, Sully, like you're going to get a job at Home Depot working with the same guy that didn't graduate from college, that's been working in a field because he wanted to crush it and has the same goals you do to pay for his bills. And no one cares. They do care, but no one cares that you were hooping in the Sweet 16 2 years prior to that. And to be mentally prepared. My older son, Jake, struggled with it. He struggled with trying to find out who he was. Part of it's my fault as a father, and I've not let it happen with Braden, is made that his whole worth. If he was good in the game, it was awesome. If he wasn't, his life sucked, and it never did. So my younger one already has that in understanding, but not everyone has that kind of paths or understanding.
I know that I'm frozen, but can you guys still hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can see you too.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, good.
You're not frozen in hours.
No, I was going to say I worked with a girl. This is one of the first girls I've worked with who had finished her pro career. She played several colleges. She had lots of injuries. This girl is so smart. Like she is. I mean, can't get her career. I won't do it justice. She's
like nuclear physicist,
like women
smart,
in STEM. Like she's just a baddie. Anyway, I worked with her for a while, and that was one of the things. Like she's like, these people don't work like they work on teams. Like this doesn't feel like a team to me. I feel alone, or I feel like this isn't, And I think there's so much struggle. And then let's say 4 months ago, I was at doing like a little training thing with a group of people as well. Girl just graduated from Wisconsin last year, and she's like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. Like, this is really hard. This is not, it's not the work is hard. The environment of a cubicle and people who don't understand sports. And I'm not trying to bag on the corporate world because Rich is thriving. It's great. It just takes different skills And that's what the nuclear physics girl, that's what she said, like the one thing you taught me was like how to transfer the skills I had in volleyball, how to make them work in another place, because I didn't know how. You think they're just going to show up, but it actually takes a little bit of skill to figure out what purpose does aggression have in corporate? None. But how do I turn that same, whatever ambition or striving or whatever, how do I turn that into something that works and is marketable for a team, like a corporate team or whatever? So it's awesome.
Well, there's no expectations for anybody when they leave, right? And all they know, and I'm even talking like mid-major, Division III. If you have a good crowd that's giving you attaboy, attagirls for 4 to 5 years, literally when you leave,
it's gone.
And you show up. Let's say you show up to a match, like because you're like, hey, I was first team All-American. They don't care. You're a has-been. You are a has-been that next year, right? And no one prepares you for that. So you go to corporate world, you think you're part of this team, and you know it's part of a team because it's all physical and being on time and discipline and sharing and doing all those things. The expectation isn't set to say, oh, I got to let her. She's not in. She's frozen.
If you can find those people that do recognize or see that bullet line item on your resume of like first team All-American, blah, 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 and they're successful and they see it. Priscilla was very fortunate in that regard. She worked with the #1 commercial real estate broker in SoCal. The dude bought and sold giant properties like South Coast Plaza style. And he saw Priscilla's resume, took it, hired her, and said, I knew I could train you. Because he also played sports at BYU.
If they're willing to do that.
I just knew it. You know nothing about real estate. You don't have the context. That doesn't matter. I knew I could train you.
I kind of wanted to say something about that too, because as being an athlete in the corporate world, I've never really been in the corporate world, but I teach and all that stuff. And I've found some people that were previous athletes, and I have bosses and stuff like that too. And I think if you can find something like that and have that commonality with somebody, they know what it's like being on a team and all that, and they can help you out a little bit.
Yeah, that's unique culture, right? You kind of build that culture. It's funny. So going back to like me being a little redshirt guy, I learned a lot of those things I've even carried into today in managing teams, etc. Doing that, like why? I would see a need, literally. Oh, the nets need to be up, or you know what? Hilly just swung 120 times the night before. He probably shouldn't be putting a net up, or
had 98 or out of the 120.
Dealing with big egos, maybe.
So I would walk in and I would show up 30 minutes early. I would set the nets up myself. I'd get all 3 in the old East Gym, right? I'd get them up. I'd put them up, and I'd try and do as much as I could to alleviate everybody else.
Absolutely.
Right? And
that's probably why you're running a company and still married to her. Would probably be my guess. No, but I'm being serious.
It was just, I would see the need.
Yeah.
And you were humble, Rich. You were humble about it.
Yeah, it's true.
Loved
Worked
it. I would
hard,
do it in a heartbeat.
But my 25-year-old is struggling with that right now. She's like, they don't know what a team is. They don't talk to you. They talk down, and like, this is not a team at all. She's really struggling with that right now. But like you said, you get a dime in the rough that says, oh, an athlete, I'll train that person instead of, well, this person's going to take my job, or the politics within corporate America, right? You get somebody to put you under the wing going, okay, I'm going to teach you, kid, because you know what? You are coachable.
See the
potential.
You're coachable
because you couldn't have got to that level without being coachable.
Right.
So
I got a little trivia. I got a trivia question for you, DDT. You ready?
Okay.
You gotta ask this question. Who are the people that have more kills than my wife, men and women's, in the NCAA?
I know this.
It's very few.
I think there's
you
two.
can give up
Is
too.
Hilliard one?
Don't use Rock.
Hilliard
Hilliard
is one of them.
Hilliard had 53 kills twice. So Priscilla had 53. Hilly did it twice.
What about
Ivy? Dude, it was so
There's
fun.
another 49er.
There's another one above. Is that what you're saying?
There's 2 more.
There's a female
another
above
49er.
me.
Jason Mulholland out of SC. Remember that big Canadian
Jason
dude?
Mulholland. I remember.
He
How
was-
many did he have?
He had
Called him
55.
55. I remember
Chris
that.
Chase, it says he had 56.
Yeah.
What about Dave
And then
McKenzie?
and Dave McKenzie, 58. So
McKenzie.
49ers
Yep,
3
Dave
times, and then
McKenzie's
Priscilla's running 49ers. So just more 49er love for the world out there.
Oh,
So,
It's a lot of kills. It's never going to happen again because the side out scoring gave you that opportunity to score.
Priscilla,
there's
were
one
you
more.
tired after that match? I just have to ask that.
You know what's so crazy is I didn't. You just don't know.
Right.
You don't know. You just keep swinging
Yeah.
at balls. And I thought we were done. It it was a very
Tell
long
them
match.
the story just real
Was
quick.
it a long four-setter or five-setter?
It was a
Did
long
you
five-setter. We did win. It was a long five-setter.
Yeah.
It was Kentucky. We're in the 5th set, and Kentucky was historically just a big rival, and they have an amazing gym, and it's packed. So I think I'm going to get it wrong, but it's 14-14, I guess. No, it had to have been more. It had to have been 15-14. And we go, somebody on our side, I'm in the back row, left back, and the girl goes up to swing on our side, and she hits it, but they block it. And so I'm pouting already because like we lost and I don't want to lose to Kentucky. And my right side hitter, Nikki, I can see it in the film because the film, you know, like now from the 90s, like a bunch of blobs moving around, but she's going, no, let's go. Because the down ref, the R2 called net on Kentucky. And so now it's 15-15. Maybe it was 13-13, I don't know. Anyway, I get put into the front row and 2 balls, 2 swings, done.
Yeah, packed the right back.
Oh yeah, it ended
Just
on right in the
like,
face.
boom,
Yeah,
to win
just
53
53
kills.
right on the face.
Yeah.
And she was fine. She was fine. No, but I go to the bench.
You didn't say, "Are you okay?"
No,
did you?
absolutely
You probably
not.
did. Okay,
No,
thank
come
you.
on.
Appreciate
Come on.
that. It's important. Thank you. Of course you didn't.
Yeah.
I knew the answer.
I mean,
it was an episode where all people doing it
set
in
the
the men's
pipe
game.
thing, right?
You don't
I'm
break.
so sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
like,
that's your side. This is my side. You know. But
Yeah,
no, I
thank you.
go to my assistant coach and she comes up to me, she goes, do you know what you just did? And this is Jenny McDowell, who runs all of the coaching development at Love now. Do you know what you just did? I'm like, no, we won. She goes, you hit 53 kills. That has to be some kind of a record. Well, in my head, I heard 35, which I hit 35 all the time. I hit 40 all the time. I hit 42 all the time. Like 35 wasn't a big deal. It wasn't until I got in the like bus or whatever to go home. Again, not a charter plane, literally a bus or a van from Kentucky back to Athens.
Nelly.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
and
that's
another
she
story.
told me, and I'm like, and I, you know what it was? Somebody interviewed me, and I was like, how many? How many? It's not 35. She goes, no, it was 53. So I don't remember.
Is that on like 80 plus swings too? Like,
I wish I could. It had to have been. Yeah.
I mean,
don't
my
know.
God.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot.
But you don't.
I mean,
and then you had to roll in and play the next day. It's like,
And-
oh well.
No,
just do
well,
that.
maybe we played on Sunday. I don't remember.
Hilly did.
Yeah.
Gosh, he was
Yeah.
amazing.
But it was.
you could just swing at every
Dude,
ball.
everything.
Yeah.
You know what's amazing about him is that I learned in watching, because you always kind of watch and you're trying to chameleon like people, right? Like, oh, Bear hits like this or Sully approaches like this. You would see Hilly swing at 18 feet off the side of the court as hard as he could.
Yep.
Never did he like go up tipping. You know, it was just always. And he would somehow, the angles he had for the height, the jump, I don't know. He would always just hit the block and the ball would go the other way. And it's just everybody. And I remember
he's got to be one of the top 1 or 2.
he was
top 3
absolutely amazing.
in the history of college men's volleyball.
Like to have a front row seat and to watch that was just unreal. And like, I remember I think we were playing like SC and they're yelling at him, steroids. I'm like, guys, it's like 160.
Yeah.
Like,
That was the point.
Wet.
That's what I remember.
wet, you know?
Like
and
jeans and a
he played,
jacket.
Yeah.
he probably lost 8-10 pounds during a match
Yeah.
because, you know, Stimfig just kept feeding him balls, feeding him balls, feeding him balls.
Overhead.
You know, and he would
Probably
swing,
like your wife.
swing.
She probably just got the ball set to her all
Yeah.
the time. When you need it done, to be a dog, you know, you just got to get it up to her.
You just
No.
gotta get it done. And I would like, and this is the best part is I always roomed with my setters because, you know, we had to be tight.
You're lucky.
We had to be
Sure they
tight.
had dessert.
We
at
had to
night.
trust each
Yeah.
other. There had to be an implicit trust.
My roommate was
Suck
Deli.
up, suck
So I don't know.
up. Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh gosh.
Delisandro was my roommate.
Awesome.
Different
I was roommates
Bear,
with
do
Deli
you,
for
Bear, do you
years.
have do you have a big Nelly, Rich Tallman story? Did we
so
tell that
fun.
on a pod, or did we tell
I
it
don't
off
know.
of the
I don't
pod?
want to get them. Yeah, I mean, I brought it
remember
up a
this,
little
Rich?
earlier, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Rich, but
Oh, it's fine. I don't mind. I just don't want to get anybody in trouble.
No.
Oh, no.
We
It's
had
all about
that
you, brother.
Nelly.
Oh,
That thing was amazing.
it was a van
Like,
that Ray drove that would fall apart halfway
Yeah.
through every trip.
fall
pretty
apart,
much.
break down. But we didn't care. We had to. Here's a funny story. So we're in Nelly driving down to the A6 tournament, and you know, in that stretch of 5 where you're going through Camp Pendleton,
Yep.
and Schroeder's like, dude, it's breaking, and he's just looking at the waves, and Hilliard is just passed out, and I'm sitting right next to him. And for some reason, I'm watching him, and he does one of these like jerks, like real quick.
Yeah.
He just kind of looks at me, and I just say, "Did you get it up?" And he just started laughing because he was fully dreaming about digging volleyballs. I was like, "Did you get it up?" So a good story. But yeah, so we went to the A6 tournament. I'll tell the story.
Yeah.
We went to the A6 tournament, and Nipes, we're all playing, right? So we wanted to go see
in San Diego, by the way. The tournament's in San Diego.
Limo.
Like
they
San
still had
Diego
a
State, bring
program.
back men's volleyball. Like lobby, it's just worth it. Everything you can do. Get Matt or Rocky to fund it. I don't know. It was just amazing. Best fans, best, like the best tournament in the world.
Yep.
Fun time. But we wanted to go to this party that night. But I was just like a little 18-year-old kid, right? So, we borrow the van keys, Nelly, and we drive to this party, and they're like, Tallman, you're driving. You're designated driver.
Borrow. The van.
Right. Yeah. So I'm 18 years old driving like the team in this passenger van to this party. We pull up, and I think, what was his name? The one guy, the middle blocker, Mataraki's, what was his name? Sean
Clark?
Sean Clark.
Yep.
I think he was DJing the party, and I've never seen so many people in a backyard, you guys.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, it felt like thousands of people, and he's up there DJing, and I'm like, what is going on? So, but anyhow, everybody got back safe and sound. Nelly was fine. Yeah, there's just so many fun stories about Nelly.
Bear,
I don't know.
Tell. Bear, do
others
tell.
we can tell.
Yeah,
Well, I'll tell you that.
Bear,
Before you tell one
it.
story, the crazy thing about this is like the stories you're telling, and I know there's so many more, and there's so many more from our end north that you can't tell. The fact that went on in college sports is amazing. Yeah. And the phones today, these things, filming and everything, all of us would probably be in jail. But besides that, it's crazy. I want to hear it, please. Tell us another story.
Bob Samuelson was nuts when he told his story. Bob Samuelson.
He's so funny.
That was a crazy story. Going to have beers.
Yeah, did you hear the story, Rich?
I think you told me. You told Priscilla at dinner.
So funny.
Something blew up at Long Beach in the gold mine. So the game was over. So everyone left. So 3 guys, Sammy being one of them, with 2 of the other guys, Hi Tony and Neil, went to the bar because they were done. And for whatever reason, I don't know how anyone found them because there was no cell phones, but they had a couple drinks and they came and found them and went back to the match to Marina High School or some high school they played at.
It was Marina, not OCU. Yeah.
Okay. It was Marina, and Long Beach had the win to go to the playoffs, and Northridge beat them. Mm-hmm. And so Sammy told the story, and it pissed off Bear and Sully to know that these guys were just guzzling beers.
It's like, we had nothing to lose. We couldn't feel anything.
He pissed off Deli after he listened to the podcast, but he's like, why would Ray allow that? Not to throw Ray under the bus. Why are you going to a neutral site? Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Okay, Bear.
Deli
go
was
ahead.
the best.
Remind Rich about the bus
there
trip.
was one other Nelly story, and then we were coming home from, I think it was the ASIC tournament. It might have been just when we played them down there, but we were coming back from San Diego, and some of the players went home with their parents or whatever, and it was basically you, Winslow, and myself, and I don't remember if there was anybody else on that. And Ray was driving, and we got him to pull over, to go to a gas station or something. We had to use the restroom, right? And
get Boston baked beans, of course.
Exactly.
Yep.
And we
40 of Old E.
We bought a couple 40s or whatever we bought, and Rich was the young boy, and he tried to keep up with the old veterans. And Winslow and I were known to put a couple away. And you did great. You did great, Coleman. But
for a while,
by the time we got there, you were spinning, I think. And as soon as we pulled into Long Beach, Nelly stopped, right? Old Nelly stopped, and you went running off the bus. And and
I don't remember any of this.
Do you remember this at all?
I don't remember. Plausible than I know.
Yeah, and you ran back behind the thing, and I guess you weren't feeling too well. And Ray's like, "Hey, what's up with Tallman?" And we're like, "He's just a little car sick, coach. He'll be all right." And
just wait till
it was great because you were not feeling well for the last 15 to 20 minutes of that trip, and you held it together like a man. It was great. And,
the best part is
bad we kind of did that to you.
After we launched this pod in a week or two, and then you find out that 26 and 27 Long Beach State's on probation. Hey, man, they used to let the players drive the vans. Well, I don't know if they'd let them. Is the right word?
Get a knock at the door of the FBI tomorrow.
Well, I don't know.
But again,
did you guys see that?
Ahead,
oh my gosh, did you guys see that meme? I feel like it was like it had to have been this year or whatever. But it's like things like current athletes wouldn't believe about the things I was coached. And it was like all these things like, we had to pick somebody on our team who was worse than us. Did any of you guys see those?
I don't think I did. I'm going to have to find it because stuff like that would be amazing.
It was so funny because it was all people from like our, not our era, but like maybe the next kind of like 10 years after. And it was so funny because it was like, oh, that stuff's all good. That's normal stuff. What? You had to run a mile and a half in between whatever, you know what I mean? Like none of it bothered me. And like, you could see that it's going to bother a lot of people. And same thing like you guys are just saying with plausible deniability. You're like, you don't want to get your coaches in trouble, but you're like, it was not a big deal. Like, I guess it said something like things that would cause trauma to like today's athletes or something like that.
I would say like
having to pick somebody worse than you, calling them out.
Yeah, I think everything we did back then would be trauma for athletes today. I mean, they use the term again. I say this lightly because I told you a little bit about the one thing with Jake, which still hurts my heart because it's just who we are, and I'm all about tough and discipline and old school, and so that's a different story. But besides that, like it's just a different time. Like people can't really take that, right? Like, and you just look at that kind of focus and how it is. It's interesting. And look about the way we all played sports. We did more outside of the game of volleyball. That probably some of it was legal, some of it wasn't, but we did it to better our team and our success and our friendships and the stories, right? It's all about the story and
experience.
I would agree. I would agree. We truly did enjoy the college experience, but we also had each other's backs. Absolutely. Whether you liked the person or not, you did, right? Because you wore the colors and you wanted to make sure they were good, whether, hey, pick your grades up or, let's make sure they get home safe and sound. It's funny. I have a funny story about the first time I met Coley. High school. It's high school. And I'm a junior. Coley's a senior. I think I'm playing for Kokora Volleyball Club.
I played for that club.
You hear, it's like, you ever been to New Orleans and you see that band that's marching and it's like crazy, whatever, I don't know what they call those, processions. It felt like a procession. Like we're in that gym over there in Cal State Dominguez Hills playing like preseason SoCal. And it felt like this procession was coming and it felt like a band, and all of a sudden this guy walks in, and it's Kenny, and just this dude is jacked. Like, how is this guy?
Kenny Lynch.
Yeah, how is this guy in high school? Like, what? The hair, he's got his shirt off, and he's walking in, and then Coley's right behind him, just like, dude, we got to play these guys. They're playing for Team Reebok that year. I think Andy Reid was coaching you guys. Andy was recruiting me to go to Pep then, and just like it was so funny because it was like, who are these guys? And I think I just said, you don't even remember, but I think we were just chit-chatting later. Just something small and easy. But you're as cool as you were then as you are now. So
thanks. I probably talked shit though back then. And
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Can you imagine the athletes Rich and Dave, too, you guys remember doing 50-50s?
Oh yeah.
50 yard dashes. Can you imagine the athletes trying to do that today?
Yes. Especially with the size, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking 6'9", 6'10" dudes.
50 yard dashes.
The thing that Ray made us do when you guys left was the mile. You got to do it under 6 minutes.
Oh, we did the mile.
We did the mile.
Yeah,
we did the mile.
But to have at the time, we had Neil Mendel, Lovey Neil, Lovey Travis Barr, 6'8", Tom Hoff. We had these big guys, right? And I think I finished in like 5:15. I crushed it.
Yeah,
right.
And if you didn't make it, one person, everybody had to do it again.
Turhan Douglas, remember Turhan
Douglas did that?
Yeah, kneeing it at 5:58 across the line.
How does he not make it? How does Turhan not make it?
Turhan did not run the distance.
In 92, he didn't make it the first time, right?
Yeah.
And so when he came back, he made it, but then he quit right afterwards. We're like, why did you quit? He goes, I had to make that mile. I had to make the mile mark, but I'm out of here. I can't do it.
Wow.
So he was going to get married and all that kind of stuff too. But Turhan didn't make it the first time in 92. Now he's just jacked. Have you ever seen Turhan?
Yeah.
Ripped is all good out.
And that's like your true playground justice. Like you kind of do that in the preseason, and you do those 50-50s, like you see the people just weeding out day one.
And 100s. Remember doing 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups?
100s, yep.
That was hard too.
On the pool deck. Remember doing grinders that day? Like I don't know, you know what grinders are? Or Coley or treading water out in the pool.
Yeah.
We would do pool workouts. And we'd have Kenny watch us, the pool coach. We would sit in the pool and you'd have to do all these different pool workouts. And like, and I played water polo, so it wasn't a big deal.
It wasn't a big deal.
Like, no big deal.
And the hill.
But then you'd tread water.
The hill.
And you've got to sit there and tread water for like 8 or 10 minutes. And people
that would
literally are like,
I could do that. I just couldn't hold things for that long. Tread water. I could tread water for that long.
The hill is no longer, by the way.
No,
it's been gone for a long time.
Wait, the hill doesn't exist?
No,
it's there. It just has buildings on it.
Like
they have buildings on it now.
Oh.
And there's many days you can see just the yak.
Oh, yeah.
That thing was
Hardcore.
brutal.
Yeah, they couldn't do that today.
Saturday
I
mornings.
think when I took Priscilla to Long Beach to kind of tour around, and we took the little kiddos back when Tazinski was there. He had a golf cart, and I was like, Scott, that's where the hill was. I was telling him like, hey, this is where the hill was. We used to do basically 50-yard dashes uphill
up the tree
on a Friday, and we all went out Thursday night, and it was tough.
45-degree hill, crazy.
Yeah, it was.
That's training. Man. That's hard to do going out on a Thursday night and still getting up and doing it. But that's what made it, again, in a different generation. Not saying right, wrong, or indifferent. The athlete today is fine-tuned and not doing much. But gosh, some of us would go out and do some crazy things and still compete at the highest level the next morning.
I was in bed early, Dave. I was in bed early.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you can edit that.
Well, and again,
my kids are watching. I was in bed early by myself, right? Okay, great. Thanks. Thanks, Dave.
I had Bear. I had Hammerhead would come by. He would hang out with us at the A6 tournament. Like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a long night. Or Winslow, and we just had a fun. It was a fun crew.
Yeah.
Fun time, fun crew. Meeting Priscilla, meeting some of her people.
If you can believe, at the great University of Georgia, with all of this amazing football program, but back in the 90s. Our lifting partners were the O-line, so volleyball and O-line lifted together. I think we had the same program. And then on Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 5:30 a.m. In the spring, we did step aerobics with men's basketball and again O-line. So those were our training buddies. So
that'd have been entertaining.
Those were her eating buddies.
Yeah,
Priscilla had a car, so she would drive the O-line dudes to
Crystal Burger. They're like, if you
and they would eat like 50 burgers.
They're like, if you fly, I'll buy. I'm like, sweet.
It's like White
I'll get
Castle.
10 burgers.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I know.
Good story.
That's good
So you guys played it, you coached it, and I know you watch it. The level of volleyball today, both on the men's and women's side, the collegiately. What's your guys' take on it? I mean, it's for us, it's exciting, and we talk about it all the time. I'd love to hear both of your guys' take on it. What your thoughts are on today's game?
You want me to go? Okay.
Priscilla, go.
I love it. I can get really like fangirly with some of these. In fact, I'm going to post it tomorrow, but I made my like Mount Rushmore of outside hitters because I'm just like obsessed. Now, I don't have like a lot of the current ones because I like little ones. I like little outside hitters. There's not a lot of those left. But I love it. It's so powerful. It's still such a beautiful sport. I absolutely love beach, but I think my heart to watch indoor is still always there. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. I'm excited about the Love Pro League. I'm excited about what's happening in Europe. I mean, so many girls have so many opportunities, like D2, D3, NAIA, like anybody can play at the next level now. And it's like, that is so cool. You had to kind of used to be like an All-American to be able to get even looked at. And if you want to play, you can. I love that. And then I have I'm a dork. So I have like the Volleyball World app. And so I watch whatever's on there, VNL, FIVB, Challenger events. I mean, we watch it all. I love it. Yeah.
What do you think, Rich? What about the men's?
Yeah, I think on the men's side, it's pretty amazing to see the athletes that are coming up and into the hopper, especially from overseas, right? And it's kind of like America is becoming this breeding ground for the future, right? You'll see these people in the Olympics for their representing country in the future. I would say the size and the power is just next level. And it's like the two things I always say, Sully, are the two most exciting sports to watch live are men's hockey, because it is the fastest thing you've ever seen. And these dudes are massive and it's powerful, and men's volleyball. If you're close enough and you can see the true size and power of what's going on, you're blown away. Like this is unreal, especially if it's two really good teams that in the crowd, the atmosphere, etc. It's exciting to see. It's exciting to see schools opening it up. It's exciting to see SoCal getting men's beach volleyball going, because the more touches they get, the better they're going to get indoor, right? And that's one thing we taught when we had some high school teams out here. It's like, get out on the sand. You're going to touch it 30 more times than you will indoor. So to see the development of the game, the club, I just wish, and here's the knock on it, on the women's side, I just wish the women's club season wasn't so long. It just seems brutal. And it's like, you talk to anybody that's in it, even the coaches are like, oh, here we go. And it's kind of like they're getting ready to saddle up to make it through July.
November through July.
October. Yeah, it's just
it should be January to May. And they have June and July to have summers with their families, train harder,
something else.
Really, or do something else, or actually have a real off season where you're just lifting weights and running and going down with your friends to play beach volleyball. You don't have to train. You don't have, you can be a kid, right? Like, I wish they would do it. I've said it forever. It's too much. It really is.
And it could start from the top down, right? USA volleyball down. Like, this is what we want to see, but it's hard because there's money involved now, right? So people are making money. It's just. But there's got to be a balance somewhere in there, especially for younger teams. Because back in the day, let's say, Junior Olympics really was. You're sending your best teams to this event. But now you've got Junior Olympics, you've got the rainbow bracket, the unicorn bracket, and we won. You won?
Right. You got AAU Nationals,
we won,
USAB
we
Nationals,
won like the triple
JVA
diamond
Worlds.
platinum bracket. Like, oh.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know how you do it. I don't know, but it would be nice, like, to see if there was some level of protecting the kid's physicality, like, so they can have a longevity. They don't get burned out so early, right? But then also the mental component.
Who cares? You just said it earlier. I think so. Who gives a shit? Nobody knows who won 18s or 17s 3 years ago in girls juniors volleyball, or who won this festival and who won AAUs. Like, nobody cares. You care when you're in it. You should care when you're in it, and you should be trained and coached and enjoy all the parameters of traveling and doing it all. But they put so much into it. And we've lost focus and we're having issues with it. And if we trained it the right way and kids learned how to practice and do it the right way, and you can have balance, I think we would get better. I don't know if we have time for this pod, but you mentioned it earlier, Priscilla, and you did too, Rich, is a lot of these teams, in at least in men's volleyball for sure, are not from this country playing in these colleges. Northridge has well over 50%. Long Beach, probably close to 50%. Hawaii, 50%. These are the men's teams. I'm not sure if it's as prevalent as prevalent on the women's side. You don't see Wisconsin with 5 Euros right now, right? Or Nebraska. They might have 1, but not 6. The problem with it is, you said it earlier, Priscilla, I don't know if, again, this is for everyone listening. Playing college sports is not just a privilege and an honor. It's fucking rad, right?
Yeah.
That's why all these people from all over the country want to come here. It's not just because of NIL. They've been wanting to come here for 25, 30, 40 years, right? Yeah. Or NIL was even there because it's such a fun thing. It's a great atmosphere. You get to travel. You get to be around a group. You get all the stuff we all love and we talk about. College is rad. So to pivot back to what you're saying, the level's amazing. If we can be more balanced, give these kids a little bit more love outside of volleyball, giving them more stuff, those 5 months, you can build a winner. You could build a winner because they're still playing 3 more months or 4 more months with their freaking high school.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need 10 months.
No.
Again, Coley's opinion. I get animated about it.
Kind of weird, man.
Ditto. I do too. And we have lengthy discussions, whether it's at coffee or we're watching a match or whatever. Priscilla and I will talk about stuff. And we watch a ton. And Priscilla's played, right? I think she might have been the first person ever to do a jump serve in the state of Texas. But she could rip her jumper, man. And little thing. But then played high school, played college, played pro, played USA tours, etc. Coached high school, coached college, coaches pros mentally now too. But she's kind of seen and done it all. I guess what's kind of the unifying factor? Like, what do you see, wifey? And I know that we're in the same house and in the same, but what do you see the future of this?
I agree with the season ending in May. I know the seniors end in May, so why would we not all just end in May? I think fewer entries. I think you make it harder to get into some stuff. I get why they do it this way because they want, everyone to have an opportunity. But I'll tell you what, when I ended up getting cut one summer So I played for Austin Juniors. I grew up in Austin. I wanted to be a Texas Longhorn so bad. But I got cut one of the summers where they were actually choosing who went to JOs, and I didn't make it. And so I stayed home. And I remember thinking, like, this doesn't feel very good. I don't ever want to be the girl who stayed home in the summer. Well, that summer we had this rickety old net in the backyard in Texas, the middle of June and July, and I taught myself how to jump serve because I watched Eric Sato in the 1988 Olympics, and I thought, that's a really cool circus trick. I want to do that. Women weren't doing it. They were still standing floating or standing topspin, and I taught myself how to do it. And so that came because I was cut, because I didn't get to play for reps. I wasn't given an opportunity. And I just think sometimes a lot of these girls don't actually want it. Like, you don't know you don't want it if you always make a team. Like, the only way to know that you really want it is to get cut and feel that sting, like, ooh, I'm going to work harder, or I'm going to do something to change that. And I think that's the missing component. And I understand the purpose behind having a 16, 1, 2, and 3, but I really think there should only be one 17s, one 16s, and everybody else, like, go play tennis. Like, that's just, I know that's not popular, but I really think we have to.
It's a business. Won't happen.
That's why I don't run a club, and that's why I'm not coaching anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but you know what? It's interesting because it goes back to the everyone gets a trophy, and you know, when I grew up, you too, Rich, and Bear in Southern California, there was I went LA Unified School District product, the city, so we had 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the CIF, it was 5 divisions. That was it. Now there's been more schools added, of course, we get it, but there was 5 divisions, and the Big 5 was where you wanted to be. Like, that was the best, right? The football where you made it. Now there's like 14 divisions, and then on top of that, it's actually 28 divisions because it's Division 1, Division 1 AA, Division 2, Division 2 AA. So there's like 30 divisions, and like, if you're going to win the CIF in Southern California in any sport, I don't care if it's
hard.
Swimming or men's football, boys football, it's hard to do. And you know what? It's supposed to be hard. You know, it's supposed to be hard, and you're supposed to be one of the 5 best teams in the division, I mean, in the southern section or whatever, not one of the best 40 teams. And because in this, and I agree with you, Priscilla, I don't know if I would put it at one team, because I do feel like maybe you do a different division where you have the division, right? Where you have 17 ones, 18 ones, 15 ones, 16 ones, and they're the ones playing and qualifying to go to the JOs. And then you have your club division, and you're still training, and you're still trying to get up to the next division. You're still working. They can fund the business as well as get your reps, learn how to be better, try to get to that next spot. I think that wouldn't be a bad thing to do it. You know, it's the whole European model of different clubs and moving up and into the pro level, right? LOVB is trying to do a little bit of that, which is pretty rad. But I don't know. I wish we had more competitive spirit. I wish it was okay to lose. I wish we pushed winning and losing more. I wish we set up, they won, you lost, that they're the champion, you're not. Like, you don't get a trophy too, and we don't split it up because you went 0-2 on Saturday, so then we put you into the silver bracket on Sunday, and then you go home with a trophy because you won. No, you didn't. You just got your ass handed to you. You shouldn't even be playing. So, like, we got to come back to a middle ground of trying to make it a little bit more competitive, a little bit tougher, as well as still catering's the wrong word, but understanding the new culture and the way people are in today's
I'll
sports.
say that
a little bit of both.
I really only talk like this with other athletes. Like, most people don't hear what I'm telling you guys because I make it pretty publicly correct. Like, it's pretty PC when I'm talking to people, and even a lot of the athletes don't coach. If they were to listen to this, they'd be like, "Oh wow, like who never thought she'd be like that?" Because it's
pretty brutal.
Well, yeah, because I'm not brutal to my athletes that I coach. I'm honest and I'm compassionate, and I push them and I challenge them in a way that isn't aggressive. I'm aggressive, and I sound like this with you guys because it's like, you know, it's so rare. I have a friend here who played at USC. She lives literally a mile from me, and we talk all the time. And we talk about how, like, you can't talk like this in the real world. Hi, Kelly. You can't show up like this. And we always talk about, man, I'm so tired of, like, not being able to show up all the way, not being able to, like, be like the, you know, competitive, aggressive female, you know, avatar out there, because a lot of people just don't handle it. So anyway, so that's for you guys. I love when I get to talk to former athletes, because it brings out such an amazing part of myself that I remember. I really don't get to do this often. So this is why we played. This is getting to still connect with people. Like having dinner with Coley and Moons was just like, oh, like we can just talk. Like no one's going to be
Rich,
intimidated.
sounds like you got to piss off your wife a little bit more.
No one's intimidated by me. Like it's
like,
just.
She's ready for it, buddy. Piss her off.
Yeah, way to go, Pip. Just go in the backyard and pepper.
That's right, exactly. Who's going to have the ball control?
Yeah.
Go.
Try not to shank it over the fence there, Rich.
See, that's bring it out of her.
It's why I love talking to her and Sully, though. It is, and all of our friends we talk about, Knight and Hilliard and all these other folks. What's amazing about it is I really feel like we were all cut from the same cloth, right? Like we could bring a lot of the folks of our generation. And I'm not saying there aren't athletes that are cut from that today, but all of us would take off our shirts and wipe the floor just so we can play on the court and play without a shirt and dive to beat your ass. Yeah. Oh, like we weren't going to lose, and it didn't matter what happened. And like, it's just we're just different. And so like to talk to like-minded athletes from that generation is pretty special. And I will say this, thank you both for coming on here and being a part of this. I know this episode is going to be awesome, and I can't wait to, sorry, Rich, can't wait to have you back, Priscilla, to talk about, more of the mental health and just the mental, fortitude for young athletes trying to make it in today's world.
Oh, I love it so much.
Exactly. From all of us, thanks for both of you guys for coming on. Priscilla and Rich, it was an awesome episode. So
you forgot one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
You forgot to talk about the merch for Step the Pipe, baby.
Oh, you got a shirt, baby.
Love it.
Did you order that?
Merch.
That's amazing.
Available.
Hit subscribe.
And I'm going to put a shirt up that says OMG STP, by the way. So just for the younger generation.
Nice.
Yeah, Set the Pipe out there,
Oh,
folks.
I love
Anyway,
it.
great having
You guys, we're honored to be on here. There's 1,000 of us that we would love to see on, and just love that you guys are doing this. I'm hoping for 500 episodes.
Yeah,
keep going.
for sure.
Thank you,
Rich.
Yeah, appreciate
that means
it.
a lot.
Thank you both.